Hi everyone and welcome to this video. I don't really even know where to start in this video. It's been a couple of weeks now and it's still very much still in it for me in my personal experience of like so many shifts, so many openings, so much deepening of the experience of being here on earth. So much information has been coming in. It's been hours each day of just getting the information in and the experiences, and it's, I would say the last couple of weeks for me has been two of the most powerful weeks in my life so far. Though I also see very clearly everything that has been happening, especially since February this year, that has been leading up to this, which has been happening now, and is happening for many people in different ways. So I've been asked or guided to share one specific part of what I've been experiencing, even though I don't yet have the full understanding, the full extent of all the layers. I do know quite a bit about what it has to do with, and what it is. It's pretty obvious, but it's so multi-layered. There's so many layers to everything we're experiencing, to all the shifts happening now, to the grid shifting, to the inner earth, to the galactics, and all with our personal processes, the shifts in connections with other people. Like there's so many different layers to it, but I've been guided to share a part of it, because there's code in it, they say, and there is a co-creation which is important. So in sharing it, it's sort of like a co-creation with other people that are experiencing some similar things, or it can activate remembrances, because it's really all about remembrance. I keep hearing, do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? And that's really all about what's going on now. In my experience, as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's helpful for you, I'm glad it is. I'm simply sharing what I'm guided to share, and by no means must this be your experience or something you are going to experience. It can be very different for different people, but it's an essence sort of in what's happening now in the remembrance. So the shifts that are happening now are both energetic and very physical. Things are getting more and more physical. So it's like the soul, the consciousness that we are, and the physical body is merging more and more. We are embodying more of that light that I've been talking about before. Embodying more of this in our bodies. More of our light, holding it. We're shifting, the DNA is changing. There are sort of dormant parts of us that are awakening more and more and more. And we are letting go and letting go and letting go of the old. And choosing to do so, choosing to not go into the old patterns, to drag those old beliefs with us, to repeat the old patterns, because we have the awareness, we have the conscious awareness after being having worked with it, and continuing to do so. It's a continuous flow in this work, as as we all know and have experienced. There is a new, how can I say this? There is a deepening of the knowing for many people now of why we are here. Why your soul specifically chose to incarnate. For many people. Some are now, like what I've been showing me is that there's like several waves. So waves of people that has been awakening, before our it's like a deepening of the embodiment, it's like a deepening of the remembrance. And this is happening for everyone, but it's like on different stages. So there's like several waves, not one wave being better than the other. Really important. It's all a co-creation, no matter where you find yourself in this whole picture of what's going on. One of the experiences that I have had over the last couple of weeks was in a meditation, and I was suddenly, it's been a lot of how can I say this, like there's so so much, I'm trying to be really clear, but there's so much, like it's everything, every experience is like it's completely bypassing the mind, and there's like an instant understanding of it, which has been, to me, very different than before, because it's always been sort of an integration period for my understanding in my mind to sort of catch up with what's going on. Now it's more the body that is working to catch up. Sleep has been changing, much deeper sleep and more deep sleep in the mornings. And the need of more sleep, because the body is shifting so much, and it feels different to be in the body. In this one of these meditations that I did, I had the experience of suddenly, and it was nothing I was seeking, it was nothing I was thinking of, or like I was just doing sort of my regular meditation, and this sort of just happened. I saw, or I felt within me something moving, like very suddenly starting moving. And I saw this galactic being, which is the same as one of, or as a group of beings that I'm channeling. I have seen these beings physically in front of me before, and I have awareness of my connection with them. So all of this that part is not new to me at all. The experience that was very different now was that this in me, I heard, I'm awakening. And this is not, it's so difficult to put into human words, the whole thing. But I immediately had those beings around me. I felt this energy starting to sort of feel in my physical human body. It feels different, and I've had different types of those very physical embodiment type of experiences these last couple of weeks. That has been very, very different types of things. But what is like the reason they're asking me to share this specific example is that it is the dormant DNA. It is the being that you really are that is sort of coming online. I felt this joy of like finally sort of remembering and being here, which was not my human mind. It was a very, very different type of experience. And also these kind of like new sort of curiosity and fascination of things I'm seeing. And I've had these things happening before, but it's more it's so much more of it. It's so much stronger. It's like everything that has been happening like little by little by little was suddenly like boom, and there it was, like fully in the body. And this type of remembrance that we can feel not only like an aspect, but like the sort of full remembrance in the body, sort of like just being dormant in us and awakening like a being, but it's still you. I feel I'm explaining this really, really bad now, but I'm trying. It is a part of what is going on with the shifting of the grid, with remembering of the purpose, the soul's purpose, like the mission, why you're here, of stepping into more of it. It is a falling away of so many old beliefs and patterns. And it has to do with also this activation that we have been having increasingly over, especially the last half year, from the inner earth, of the frequencies coming up. And now the grid is shifting on the earth. I have a couple of videos out on specifically on Australia with information I've been receiving on that. And also this new grid that is coming into place is or will be opening very different types of portals, is what I've been shown, that is going to align with the cosmos. And so the interaction with galactic beings will be more common. And also, because they told me this like I think about a year ago, that a real disclosure is when the human fully see themselves. So more and more people will have these experiences, is what I've been shown, of embodying more of their galactic aspect. Not in the sense of receiving the information, integrating it, understanding it, and having the knowing, but in physically experiencing it. That's the big difference. That shifts the energy, and why this is happening for a lot of people now. One of the aspects, as I've been shown, is that it has to do with the shifting of the grid, because there's a different type of frequency that is vibrating out, and that has to do with the shifting of the grid and how it's all like the interaction between the inner earth and then the grid sort of on the surface, and the energies from the cosmos and the beings and the energies that are coming in. There is no more hiding, and there's in it, it's like a lot of that fear of being seen, or fear of talking maybe about these things, or the sort of holding back is kind of just cleared, because it's, as I said, like it's sort of bypassing the mind, the whole thing. So it's just like a lot of perspectives are just like things that were in the old system, patterns beliefs, fears, like a lot of those things are just like wiped out, because it's bypassing the mind, and it's happening in the physical. The job though is to keep bringing the body there. So the body needs time to catch up. So even though it can be felt in the body and it's happening, it's still an awareness we need to keep bringing the body with us in it, because if we sort of just on autopilot go into old patterns, into old entanglements, or come from a victim side of consciousness, or a codependent frequency, or we just like sort of just go along with it, even though it the feeling of the resonance is like experienced even stronger, I would say. We need to keep making those choices, to bring the body with us, even though the shift has happened really in the body, but the patterns still have to be, we need to keep bringing the body with us into this new, even though the shift really has sort of happened in the perspective and in the mind, because it has, in my experience, bypassed that whole thing. And I have a very analytical mind, thinking, wanting to understand type of approach always had, and to me this has completely bypassed that aspect, and there's really no way back, and we're not meant to. Now these types of experiences will happen in different ways for different people. It depends on the aspects you have in you. It depends, like there's different points when different people will have these types of experiences, but I've been shown that there's sort of a wave now that are seeing more galactic interaction, seeing more portals, seeing more of the connection with the inner earth, and the grid, and these sort of shifts, and also remember that the animals are also a part of this whole thing with the grid. I think I mentioned, either it was in the last video or maybe a couple of videos ago, that there will be, we will also see that animals starts moving. Let's see, I took some notes. Yeah, also a lot of resistance is sort of being cleared now, and that's also something we have to, like when you come to a situation, for example, where you normally would like maybe come from a bit of a victim state, or there's like some sort of an entanglement with people, or like that codependent frequency, or there's something you have like resistance to, or normally would have resistance to. It won't feel right, it won't feel iffy, it won't feel off, and then it's really important to make the choice to stay, not go into, I normally have resistance to this, so I should probably, this is how I am. It shifts. So also will your behavior, also will your patterns, your beliefs, it's like every point sort of a deeper and deeper and deeper awakening, we are experiencing these things, but this has been so much more profound and so much more physical than any other period in my experience, and also what I'm being shown am being told is that it's really, that's really what's happening, and that's why it's so important to share it, that these very physical experiences there will be many people experiencing it, and it will also make shifts in connections, because we're vibrating different, and it will start attract more of those people that we are sort of meant to be with, or that we have contracts with, that have to do with this whole shift. And also locations, these things I've been talking about in some videos before, all of this sort of, it's connected with all of it. I hope it makes sense for you. Also, they're reminding me now to say that all these energies coming up from the inner earth, and the vibration of Mother Earth, or Gaia, is a bit different. It is clearing and healing us more than it has, and she's very ready to do so. And there's been, in my experience, more in sort of like energy work, healing work, more of a presence than it has been prior from Mother Earth, from the inner earth also, because they can access us in a different way. So this is really available for us to use. Also, the soul's chakra, often called the soul star. I usually say soul chakra because that's what I've used in channelings. And the third eye it's sort of like communicating more directly, or more, it's like the soul chakra or the soul star feels more as a physical, like it feels more physical than it has been, which really is about the body being more energetic. So more of the energetic experience feels more physical because it's available for us while we're in the body. We don't need to go out of body. Also, teleportation, for example, astral traveling, these types of things will be more physical because the vibration is changing, because we are in this higher frequency. So as we're embodying more and more of this is why the body needs time to catch up, why we need to keep bringing the body with us through this whole process, because our bodies will be able to do very different things than we've been used to, and it's really a whole different level of embodiment that a lot are experiencing. I really hope this is helpful for you. I hope it makes some sort of sense. It's really difficult sometimes to put these things into human words. But it's really, really a whole different level of physical embodiment of aspects of us, or of us, the light, the consciousness, the soul that we are, than it has been before. And it has to do with the whole, it's very empowering, very humbling, and it has to do with the whole shifting of the grid and the interaction with the inner earth, the grid on the surface sort of the earth, and the cosmos and the galactic connection. This is all, that's why these points that we are on the earth are shifting, and we are remembering, we are knowing, because then we can't sort of be thrown off. So when you have these kind of experiences, don't doubt yourself. If it's new to you to have these kind of experiences, reach out to someone so you can share it, so you can talk about it, so you can integrate it, and just really go with it. There are a lot of changes now, and it's much more physical than it has been before. So know that you're not crazy if you if you experience these kind of things, if it's new to you, and remember, you're just remembering more and more of who you are. We've just been in forgetfulness, and this is actually the reality. This is what's real. This is what we are remembering. And I just keep saying, do you remember? So I want to leave you with that today. I will be back pretty soon, I guess, with more. Hope you're doing well. I love reading your comments. I know I'm a bit delayed in coming back to comments now, because it's been so much. It's really taken all my time. But I will be coming back to you in the comments, and please continue sharing. I love reading your comments, your experiences, and knowing how you guys are doing. So I will see you in the next video, and I wish you a beautiful day. Bye bye.